Hello and welcome back to Grace.Filled. I'm so excited that you're here with me for another video. And in this video, we are seeking his face. That's right, seeking the face of the Most High. And today we're here on day 36. And on today, we are going to be going over Exodus 19, 20, and 21. So let's jump in. Chapter 19, Israel at Mount Sinai. In the 3rd month after the children of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on the same day they came to the wilderness of Sinai. For they had departed from Rephidim and had come to the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness. So Israel camped there before the mountain. And Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my commandments, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be like me, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words in which you shall speak to the children of Israel. So Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before them all these words which the Lord had commanded of them. Then all the people answered together and said, All that the Lord has spoken we will do. So Moses brought back the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people might hear when I speak with you and believe you forever. So Moses told the words of the people to the Lord. Then the Lord said to Moses, Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and let them be ready for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day, says the Lord, will come down unto Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. You shall set bounds for all people around, saying, Take heed to yourself that you do not go up or to the mountains or touch its base. Whosoever shall touch the mountain shall surely be put to death. Not a hand shall touch him, but he surely shall be stoned or shot with an arrow. Whether man or beast, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds long, they should come near the mountain. So Moses went down from the mountains to the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said to the people, Be ready for the 3rd day. Do not come near with your wives. Then it came to pass on the 3rd day in the morning that there was a thundering and lightning and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of trumpets was very loud, so that all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was completely in smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire. Its smoke ascended like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. And when the blast of the trumpet sounded long, and became louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by voice. Then the Lord came down into Mount Sinai on top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said to Moses, Go down and warn the people, lest they break through to gaze at the Lord, and many of them perish. Also let the priests who come near the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. But Moses said to the Lord, The people can not come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Set bounds around the mountain and consecrate it. Then the Lord said to him, Away, get down, and then come up, you and Aaron with you, but do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and spoke to them. Exodus 20. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image, or any likeness, or anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or what is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers of the children to the 3rd and the 4th generation, those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all of your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you should not do any work, you, your sons, your daughters, your male servants, your female servants, or your livestock, or the sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heavens and the earth, the seas, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God has given you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor, you shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, his donkey, or anything that might be your neighbor's. Now, when all the people saw the thunder and flashes of lightning and the sound of trumpet and the mountain smoke, and the people were afraid and they trembled, and they all stood far off and said to Moses, "You speak to us and we will listen, but do not let God speak to us lest we die." So Moses said to the people, "Do not fear, for God has come to test you, that the fear of him may be before you, that you may not sin." The people stood far off, while Moses drew near to the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said to Moses, "Thus you shall say to the people of Israel, you have seen for yourself that I have talked with you from the heavens. You shall not make gods of silver to be with me, nor shall you make for yourself gods of gold. An altar of earth you shall make for me, and sacrifice on it burnt offerings, and your peace offerings, your sheep and your oxen. In every place where I cause my name to be remembered, I will come to you and bless you. If you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of hewn stone. For if you wield your tool on it, you profane it. And you shall not go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness be not exposed of it. Exodus 21. These are the laws you are to set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years. But in the 7th year, he shall go free without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go too. If the master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to the master. Only the man shall go free. But if the servant declares, "I love my master, and my wife and children do not want to go free," then his master must take him before the judges. He shall take him to the door of the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he will be his servant for life. If a man sells his daughter as a servant and she is not to go free as male servants do, if she does not please the master who has selected her for himself, he must let her be redeemed. He has no right to sell her to foreigners because he has broken faith with her. If he selects her for his son, he must grant her the rights of a daughter. If he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, or marital rights. If he does not provide her with these 3 things, she is to go free without any payment of money. Anyone who strikes a person with a fatal blow is to be put to death. However, if there is none done intentionally, but God lets it happen, they are to flee to a place I will designate. But if anyone schemes and kills someone deliberately, that person is to be taken from our altar and be put to death. Anyone who attacks their father and mother should be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps someone is to be put to death, whether the victim has been sold or is still in the kidnapper's possession. Anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. If people quarrel and one person hits another with a stone or with their fist, and the victim does not die but is confined to bed, the one who struck the blow will not be held liable if the other can get up and walk around outside with a staff. However, the guilty party must pay the injured person for any loss in time that the victim is and see that the victim is completely healed. Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result. But they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or 2, since the slave is their property. If people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the courts allow. But if there's a serious injury, and you are to take a life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. An owner who hits a male or female slave in the eye and destroys it must let the slave go free to compensate for the eye. And the owner who knocks out the tooth of a male or female slave must let the slave go free to compensate for the two. If a bull ignores a man or woman to death, the bull is to be stoned to death, and its meat must not be eaten. But the owner of the bull will not be held responsible. If, however, the bull has had the habit of gnawing, and the owner has been warned but has not kept it pinned up, and it kills a man or woman, the bull is to be stoned, and its owner must also be put to death. However, if payment is demanded, the owner may redeem his life by the payment of whatsoever is demanded. This law also applies if the bull gnaws a son or daughter. If the bull gnaws a male and female slave, the owner must pay 30 shekels of silver to the master of the slave, and the bull is to be stoned to death. If anyone covers a pit or digs one and falls to cover it, and an ox or donkey falls in it, the one who opened the pit must pay the owner for the loss and take the dead animal in exchange. If anyone's bull injures someone else's bull and it dies, the two parties are to sell the live one and divide both the money and the dead animal equally. However, if it was known that the bull had a habit of gnawing, yet the owner did not keep it pinned up, the owner must pay animal for animal, take the dead animal in exchange. So we have done Exodus 19, 20, and 21. I will keep this short and simple. I know that a lot of people are having snow days. There's just inclement weather for quite a few states, and I'm just praying, if you have to go out, I'm praying for traveling graces and mercy. I'm just praying for safety. I'm praying that it is well with you, your children, with your families, with all parts of you. So Father, I just thank you for this day, for this opportunity for us to meet together again, just to seek your face, to just learn more about you. Father, I pray that you would touch my brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews. I pray that you would heal them, deliver them, set them free, give them miracle signs and wonders, change their minds, their hearts, their life. And Father, I am just thanking you on today for who and what you are. And I'm just praying for traveling graces and mercy. I'm just praying just your hands of protection for the people who have to travel in the inclement weather. Just praying for hearts of the leaders and those who have control over us. And we're just asking for your will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. We're asking for heaven to intercept earth, and for that your will just to be done. So we just thank you, we bless you, we love you, we give you glory, honor, and praise. We actually forgive us for the sins, the ones we know about, the ones we don't know about. And we just bless you. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. So I hope that you have a good night, or maybe it's morning where you are. It's definitely night here. I'm going to go to bed. But before I went to bed, I wanted to make time for the Most High. And I hear a lot of people say we make time for what we want to make time for, and I do think that it is important that we discipline ourselves, if and when possible, to make time for the words of the Most High. But until tomorrow, peace and blessings to you, and I'm sending so much love.